Hello and welcome to Dinar Shift. We are at a critical juncture, a moment that could forever alter the landscape for dedicated holders of the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong around the globe. For years, this community has operated in the quiet tension between hope and skepticism, enduring cycles of rumor, speculation, and unverified claims. Imagine the long wait, the patient holding of a currency, and then, from the deep, secure heart of global finance, a clear, unmistakable signal emerges, suggesting that the long-awaited turning point is not only possible but is actively being prepared for. It's late October 2025, and the operational groundwork, long obscured by speculation, appears to be finally breaking the surface. For many months, the international community of investors, from the smallest retail holder to institutional observers, has been intensely focused on identifying verifiable, actionable evidence of a coming revaluation, or more precisely, an organized redemption process for the Iraqi dinar IQD and the Vietnamese dong of VND. The search for concrete proof beyond forum chatter has been paramount, and today, that evidence may have arrived. A new and reportedly verified list of major international banks has surfaced, institutions that are not merely considering, but are reportedly compliant, operationally prepared, and ready to execute structured, secure, and institutionally backed redemption procedures. This transition from mere talk to proven, operational readiness is the most significant development to emerge this year. This is not a matter of unconfirmed online chatter or another speculative spike fueled by wishful thinking. The substance of the details emerging today is rooted in institutional capability and operational alignment. It points to internal system upgrades, rigorous compliance integration, and the verified deployment of procedures necessary for handling a massive currency exchange event. This development marks a definitive shift, a movement away from mere speculation and into the realm of actionable, institutional reality. We will be breaking down the implications of this critical bank list, detailing how it is structured, and explaining why this specific institutional preparation may well be the defining element that shapes 2025 as the year the long-anticipated financial shift finally moves into its executable, final stages. To fully grasp the magnitude of the present news, it is essential to contextualize the unique, decades-long journey of both the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong. For a substantial period, those holding these currencies have navigated a challenging terrain where the line between rumor and factual reality has been constantly blurred. Following the 2003 invasion, Iraq faced an uphill climb involving profound economic hardships, stringent sanctions, and the monumental task of national and financial reconstruction. The dinar, against this backdrop, became an unlikely object of international interest, with global speculators and small investors alike tying their hopes to the nation's eventual stabilization and a financial revaluation that could accurately reflect Iraq's deep financial and resource potential. Simultaneously, Vietnam has been quietly and effectively building an economic success story. With consistent, strong GDP growth, a powerful export-driven economic model, and a measured, disciplined approach to monetary policy, the nation has carefully positioned the dong as a currency of low volatility and increasing stability. Both nations have now reached what experienced financial analysts are beginning to describe as the crucial financial readiness zone. This zone is defined by a convergence of critical factors: substantial monetary reforms, a significant increase in foreign reserves, and the comprehensive modernization of digital payment and banking infrastructure. These conditions together make a potential controlled currency adjustment not just theoretically possible, but thoroughly operationally feasible and secure for institutional handling. The list of prepared banks that has now come to light serves as concrete institutional confirmation that these currencies are no longer solely speculative playthings. Instead, they are being actively managed and prepared for a sophisticated exchange and redemption process within the most secure and regulated global financial channels. The bank list itself is the headline, a tangible piece of evidence that investors have been diligently waiting for. Where the narrative was previously dominated by speculative gossip, the focus is now firmly fixed upon verified, institutionally prepared global financial entities, underscoring a commitment to process and security. Key U.S. banking giants, including names like Chase, J.P. Morgan, and Bank of America, are reportedly among those that have finalized critical internal system updates and have been specifically designated to handle the redemption of both IQD and VND. Wells Fargo has been noted as a potential primary Tier 1 facilitator, suggesting a leading role in the initial high-level execution of the process. In the international sphere, HSBC is reportedly managing complex international settlements for both currencies. Beyond these major players, secondary institutions such as Truist Bank and PNC Financial are reportedly focused on robust investor verification procedures and ensuring procedural readiness across their entire network. This level of comprehensive, multi-institutional preparation is profoundly significant. Bank preparation of this magnitude requires far more than a simple declaration of intent. It necessitates a complete and verifiable operational alignment across all internal departments, full adherence to global compliance standards, deep integration with central bank protocols, rigorous system stress testing, and the comprehensive training of specialized staff. These institutions are reportedly poised to manage every aspect of the transaction, from both digital and physical currency authentication to the complex process of transaction reconciliation, which ensures that every exchange is accounted for. This methodical, verifiable preparation strongly signals that the steps toward redemption are being executed with a structured, secure, and auditable methodology, moving well beyond previous, informal cycles. What elevates today's critical revelation is the deep and thorough integration of advanced compliance systems with full operational readiness. The major banks preparing to manage IQD and VND exchanges are not merely setting up ad hoc currency desks. They are reportedly activating sophisticated, internal verification and monitoring systems that are directly aligned with established central bank and international regulatory protocols. These systems are understood to utilize digital ledger technology and provide near real-time transaction monitoring, which is designed to ensure that every movement of currency is fully verifiable, traceable, and subject to immediate audit. This sophisticated level of financial infrastructure deployment is unprecedented for retail investors in this arena. It provides a foundational layer of confidence that once the redemption process is activated, it will be executed within a framework that is secure, tightly controlled, and fully compliant with the most rigorous global banking standards. Unlike past speculative surges or unverified movements, the current emerging framework is strictly procedural, heavily supported by robust data integrity protocols, and overseen by rigorous compliance requirements. In practical, everyday terms, this institutional preparedness strongly suggests that the actual currency exchange process, once live, will likely unfold smoothly, efficiently, and with full transparency, substantially minimizing the inherent risk for both individual investors and the global financial institutions involved in the handling. To truly appreciate the deep significance of these current developments, it is worth revisiting the long and complex history of these two specific currencies. The Iraqi dinar has been the subject of persistent, high-intensity speculative attention, particularly since the 2003 invasion and the subsequent imposition of international sanctions that dramatically restricted legitimate financial activity and severely hampered the nation's economic stability efforts. For more than 2 decades, patient IQD holders have watched, waited, and followed as essential political and economic reforms were gradually put in place, slowly laying the indispensable groundwork for a potential, justifiable revaluation. Meanwhile, Vietnam has steadily risen to become a recognized regional economic powerhouse, distinguished by its disciplined and methodical monetary policies, consistently rising GDP figures, and its ever-deepening integration into critical global trade and supply networks. Both of these currencies now sit at an incredibly pivotal financial intersection, a point where the active operational readiness demonstrated by major global banks converges precisely with established, verifiable macroeconomic stability in both nations. The revaluation discussions, which for so long were dominated solely by unverified rumors, are now firmly grounded in verifiable institutional systems, effectively constructing a secure and auditable bridge that leads from pure speculation to a tangible, executable financial reality. Iraq's challenging but determined journey to this specific moment has been clearly defined by a series of significant monetary reforms, the crucial stabilization of its vast oil revenues, and the measured adoption of modern digital payment and transaction systems. Inflation, which was once a substantial, debilitating challenge, has shown a steady and encouraging decline, while the nation's foreign reserves have reportedly reached levels not seen in the last 2 decades. Strategic and deliberate partnerships with major multinational corporations, coupled with consistent structural reform programs backed by the IMF, have now positioned Iraq to potentially manage a significant currency adjustment in a responsible, controlled, and sustainable manner. The newly surfaced bank list, with its strong emphasis on compliance and system readiness, is a direct reflection of the operational culmination of these deep structural reforms. A verified collection of global banks that are prepared to handle high-volume IQD exchanges signals far more than just the theoretical possibility of a revaluation. It confirms the existence of the serious, intricate institutional groundwork that is fundamentally required to implement such a monumental financial event safely, transparently, and with full global regulatory effectiveness. This operational readiness speaks volumes about the level of certainty being adopted by the world's leading financial institutions. Vietnam's significant inclusion in this emerging list of bank readiness underscores the country's proactive and forward-thinking approach to deeper global financial integration. By deliberately and methodically aligning its domestic financial infrastructure with the highest international banking standards, and by aggressively upgrading its digital transaction and settlement systems, Vietnam has ensured that the dong is positioned and ready for various potential adjustment or revaluation scenarios. These decisive measures reflect a deeply strategic, long-term national planning as opposed to any kind of speculative intent, prioritizing above all else financial stability, full transparency, and the maintenance of high investor confidence across the board. For investors who hold the Vietnamese dong, this careful, disciplined approach creates a predictable and secure environment where any potential gains from VND appreciation are fully supported by robust institutional readiness and completely secure operational frameworks. In essence, Vietnam's consistent, disciplined, and measured approach to its monetary policy and financial system underscores its rapidly growing influence and solidifying reputation as an exceptionally stable, trustworthy, and increasingly important participant in the complex global financial landscape. Their inclusion is a powerful statement about their financial future. Reports from reliable sources indicate that the process of currency redemption, once officially activated, will be executed through a highly structured tiered approach. The initial phase, which is frequently referenced as Tier 4B or the private phase, is specifically designed to target a verified cohort of investors. These are individuals who have already completed the rigorous process of identity verification and the authentication of their currency holdings. This select group is expected to receive highly confidential, direct instructions via secure communication channels, enabling them to schedule appointments at designated, secure redemption centers. The secure facilities tasked with handling these specialized exchanges are reportedly equipped with a suite of advanced authentication tools, protocols based on strict non-disclosure agreements, formalized and secure payout procedures, and dedicated, highly trained financial advisors. These advisors are reportedly capable of efficiently and compliantly managing high-value, complex transactions. This meticulously methodical approach is crucial because it ensures that the initial, early-stage liquidity flows are fully controlled, securely traceable, and compliant with all regulatory mandates. This structured process establishes the necessary operational proof of concept before any potential broader public rollout can be safely considered. Following the successful completion of this rigorous initial tier, a much broader public rollout is anticipated to be facilitated through standard, established banking channels. This subsequent phase is commonly known as Tier 5. This stage is expected to accommodate the general population of investors while rigorously mirroring the stringent compliance and procedural requirements established during the private tier. Special and considerate provisions for senior investors, including dedicated one-on-one assistance and enhanced accessibility measures, are reportedly being integrated into the overall process planning. The public phase is expected to provide fully standardized, and highly transparent procedures for currency redemption, thereby enabling far wider and more equitable participation while simultaneously minimizing the overall operational risk to the financial system. By deliberately and strategically structuring the entire rollout in these clearly defined phases, major global banks are proactively preparing for a controlled management of potential liquidity surges. This phased approach ensures maximum stability and confidence for both the large institutional players and the multitude of retail investors participating in the process. While avoiding any form of financial advice, speculative analysis suggests that even a modest, controlled upward adjustment in the value of the IQD or the VND could potentially lead to transformative financial outcomes for compliant holders. For example, the Iraqi dinar, which has historically been valued at approximately 400 dinars per US dollar, could purely hypothetically be adjusted closer to a 1-1 parity range with the dollar. Such a highly significant movement would carry monumental financial implications for those investors holding Tier 4B or private allocations, potentially multiplying the total value of their long-term holdings significantly. Similarly, the Vietnamese dong, currently valued at around 23,500 dong per US dollar, could experience a carefully controlled revaluation that could also generate substantial gains for compliant currency holders. These hypothetical scenarios vividly underscore precisely why institutional readiness, robust operational infrastructure, and secure bank procedures are absolutely critical. They are the essential guardrails required to ensure that any major liquidity surges resulting from a revaluation are managed not just efficiently, but above all, safely and securely within the global financial system. One of the most compelling and notable aspects of the newly revealed bank list is the extraordinary degree of system synchronization and coordination that has been achieved across multiple major financial institutions. Compliance systems, advanced blockchain-based reporting mechanisms, and digital ledger infrastructure are all reportedly connecting these vast banks directly with the relevant central bank records in near real time. This profound level of coordinated oversight provides an unprecedented degree of transparency, auditability, and instant traceability, which significantly reduces the systemic risks that have been historically associated with purely speculative or informal currency exchanges. This deep coordination fundamentally signals that the global financial system is not merely ready to theoretically accommodate a complex redemption process, but that it is actively and thoroughly prepared to manage every transaction within a secure, highly regulated, and verifiable framework. For the patient investor, this robust preparation provides the critical confidence that the entire process will adhere strictly to established, legal, and formal protocols, rather than falling prey to informal, unverified, or rumor-driven channels that have plagued the market in the past. While unverified speculative rumor has frequently dominated the conversations surrounding the dinar and dong revaluation, today's specific developments reflect a fundamental shift toward formal, verifiable institutional observation and oversight. Key regulatory bodies, including both domestic financial authorities in Iraq and Vietnam and major U.S.-based financial regulators, are reportedly engaged in the active monitoring of the integration and readiness of the bank's compliance systems. Far from acting as an obstruction, the formal presence of this oversight fundamentally ensures that the anticipated liquidity flows will strictly follow legal, auditable, and secure pathways, thereby minimizing any potential systemic risk to both the domestic banking operations and the individual investors involved. This comprehensive regulatory oversight adds yet another crucial layer of confidence for all those holding IQD or VND, forcefully emphasizing that the emerging redemption process is being treated as an integral part of an organized, fully verifiable, and tightly controlled financial framework. To accurately place the gravity of the current situation into a proper historical context, it is useful to briefly compare it with previous financial milestones. For instance, in 2014, earlier speculative surges in the dinar market left many investors with no verifiable or accessible liquidity channels whatsoever. By 2017, significant political progress in Iraq managed to remove some initial economic barriers, but practical, executable redemption mechanisms remained fundamentally limited in scope and scale. The IMF-backed reforms of 2021 introduced crucial structural stability, Yet the essential operational readiness for a currency event of this magnitude was still not fully achieved. Fast forward to 2023, and advanced blockchain-based ledgers and specialized Swift overlay capabilities were systematically implemented, finally creating a traceable, secure system for high-volume transactions. Now, in 2025, the release of this verified bank list and the demonstrated coordinated compliance systems mark the first truly significant moment where prolonged speculation begins to solidly intersect with a verifiable, executable institutional reality. This signals a concrete and long-awaited transition from mere rumor to actual, practical financial execution. In light of this imminent institutional readiness, investors today are strongly advised to take immediate, proactive steps to organize and authenticate their holdings. This includes verifying the authenticity of their currency notes and preparing essential personal documentation, such as government-issued identification, verifiable proof of original purchase, and comprehensive prior transaction records. This level of proper and meticulous preparation is not merely optional, it reportedly forms an integral part of the procedural requirements that compliant financial institutions are preparing to strictly enforce for both the private and the public redemption tiers. Early adopters and verified private investors can realistically expect to receive highly structured guidance directly from their designated banks, which will include secure protocols for scheduling appointments, detailed and multi-step verification procedures, and crucial one-on-one support for those holding particularly larger allocations. The intense emphasis being placed on personal preparedness powerfully highlights the importance of adopting a methodical and fully compliant engagement strategy rather than reverting to reactive or purely speculative behavior. The transition requires the utmost diligence from the holder. Beyond the specific numbers, the compliance architecture, and the detailed technical preparations, this moment represents an incredibly rare and significant alignment between the patient investor, institutional readiness, and verifiable macroeconomic stability. Those individuals who have diligently held onto their IQD or VND through the long, often difficult years of uncertainty and speculation are now positioned directly at a unique and potentially transformative threshold. The emergence of this verified bank list functions not only as an unmistakable signal of procedural readiness, but also as a powerful validation for the years of persistence and careful, forward-thinking planning. It serves as a tangible, forceful reminder that major global shifts, whether they are financial, political, or fundamentally economic, very often begin with a quiet, methodical build-up. These shifts are carefully constructed and refined behind the scenes, far from the public eye, before they are finally ready to be revealed to the world. For the investor, staying continuously informed, vigilant, and fully prepared is absolutely essential to ensure they are ready to act decisively and correctly when the official timing is announced. The successful navigation of this phase will rely on preparedness. A potential revaluation of the Iraqi dinar would yield far-reaching benefits that extend well beyond the individual investor community. It holds the power to fundamentally transform Iraq's entire domestic economy. A stronger, more stable currency value would substantially enhance the nation's crucial import capacity, simultaneously reduce existing inflationary pressures, and significantly improve access to the global markets for Iraqi businesses of all sizes. Critical domestic sectors, including the vital energy, agricultural, and infrastructure sectors, could experience significantly accelerated growth due to reduced costs for imported materials and necessary technology upgrades. Furthermore, improved purchasing power at the household level directly strengthens local families, significantly enhances national savings rates, and strongly supports the sustainable expansion of the middle class, all crucial elements for long-term national stability. This powerful, multifaceted scenario clearly underscores precisely why institutional preparation and the deep integration of compliance systems are so fundamentally crucial at this stage. The stakes in this moment extend significantly beyond just financial speculation. They involve the tangible, long-term national economic development and stability of an entire sovereign nation. Vietnam also stands to gain substantially from the structured and operational readiness now being demonstrated for the dong. A carefully controlled, managed appreciation of the currency would inevitably enhance export and import dynamics, actively encourage greater multinational corporate investment, and further solidify the country's robust position as a stable and increasingly critical financial hub within the wider Southeast Asian region. The implementation of digital ledger integration and stringent compliance alignment will also further optimize cross-border transactions, significantly improve international settlement efficiency, and successfully reduce critical transaction costs for global commerce. By strategically combining a gradual, measured currency appreciation with this high degree of institutional preparedness, Vietnam is ensuring that any potential financial gains are both sustainable and fully aligned with its long-term national economic strategy, rather than being fueled by the instability of short-term speculation. For U.S. investors, the potential revaluation or redemption process for both the IQD and VND represents both a clear opportunity and a powerful, affirmative signal. Those who have meticulously held these currencies through the long years of patience may soon see the tangible results of their diligence. Crucially, the high degree of institutional readiness now confirmed ensures that the entire process will be regulated, fully secure, and auditable at every single step. The multi-tiered redemption process, coupled with the activation of advanced verification systems and the unprecedented level of bank coordination, provides a firm confidence that the substantial liquidity flows can be managed safely and compliantly, which drastically reduces the historical risk of fraud or financial mismanagement. Investors must remain exceptionally attentive, meticulously organized, and fully prepared to act quickly and correctly when the official, secure communications are finally released. The potential impact of this emerging institutional readiness extends significantly beyond the scope of individual retail investors. Global financial markets, particularly those involved in energy, high-volume commodity trading, and Southeast Asian finance, could experience various ripple effects as the major liquidity begins to enter the mainstream, regulated financial channels. Banks, financial regulators, and dedicated compliance systems are reportedly preparing for this complex transition, which strongly signals that the potential revaluation is being treated as an operational certainty within the highest levels of global finance, rather than just another speculative what-if scenario. International institutional investors, major asset managers, and specialized currency traders are all reportedly monitoring key financial indicators exceptionally closely, fully aware that a structured, verified movement in the IQD and VND could profoundly influence broader, strategic foreign exchange strategies across the entire market. While the specific revelations emerging today are highly significant, investors must continue to exercise the highest level of vigilance. Only official, secured communications originating directly from verified, designated banking channels should be used to guide any redemption actions. Any random emails, unverified social media messages, or suspicious, unsolicited contacts should be immediately ignored and treated with extreme caution, as the formal operational procedures and the integrated compliance systems remain the only authoritative source of truth in this complex process. Diligently monitoring key market indicators, such as bank screen activations, official Forex market updates, and formal compliance bulletins, will be essential for helping investors accurately understand the moment when the systems are truly live and officially ready to process transactions. Staying continuously and reliably informed is the undisputed key to successfully capitalizing on this unprecedented alignment between global financial infrastructure and the preparedness of the investor community. In conclusion, the emergence of this verified and coordinated bank list represents far more than just a momentary financial development or a minor shift in market sentiment. It is the first truly tangible, comprehensive signal that years of patient investor waiting, the establishment of sophisticated institutional frameworks, and verifiable national macroeconomic preparation are all finally and decisively converging into a single executable moment. Those who have diligently held IQD and VND through years of uncertainty and speculation now stand at a pivotal moment where their patience is directly meeting institutional preparation. The meticulous steps taken today, from the rigorous organization of documents to the final readiness for detailed verification, will be the decisive factors in how smoothly and successfully investors navigate the upcoming critical phases of this process. The world of global currency, high finance, and international investment has a powerful, often silent way of revealing its most significant opportunities quietly, behind the scenes, long before the general public fully realizes their immense significance. Today, that crucial whisper of readiness has finally arrived. Prepare methodically, stay absolutely informed, and act decisively, because the stage appears set for one of the most transformative and pivotal moments in the modern history of dinar and dong investment.